Okay, my friends, I'm going to start right off by saying this is going to be somewhat biologically reproductive system graphic on the female type of anatomy. And the reason I'm doing this is because this person, and it's going to be graphic. So if you have little kids and you don't want them graphicized, have them go do something else. Now, she says, every time I see this picture, there's so much more to this story. It's not just a vagina, it's a coffin birth of a pregnant woman. And I will explain this because she does in great detail, and I will go what she told me. Now, she said down here that she was an OBGYN nurse. She knows that she's retired. She's done it all her life. And she fully understood exactly what happened, and I will make you understand precisely what happened too. Okay, my friends, pay close attention. This is obviously a female vagina, which is the only type I know. Now, this is the vaginal canal, and you see how smooth this wall is? Then look at this wall. What the heck is going on? Why is there a bump here? We can see that it has the exact anatomy, and that split is what's called the abdominal seam, where the blastula folds over and it welds there and creates the abdominal cavity. That is the fetus. This woman was pregnant. It's a gigantic human. And when somebody commented and said the body and the face, that's literally the face right there of the giant baby. All right, and what happens is the gases, let me back it out again and it'll make more sense. It took me quite a while to figure this out. I couldn't, come on, and sure enough, I believe she's right. This is where it's also being pushed in, and the face is being pushed in because the gases expel in here and fill that cavity. Now, apparently what she said was the baby would have been delivered through, the body of the baby would have been delivered through the canal. Maybe that also, the head would have gone with it. I have no idea. But apparently at some point as it was drowned, and she said it was drowning, it's called a coffin birth. They drown, and then the gases blow up, and then the baby eventually is expelled, and that's why the vaginal canal was left in a cylinder shape, whereas normally they come as a teardrop, and I'll show you that, because they're all over the earth. There was literally, had to be millions of giants. I mean, they were everywhere. I have them all over my property, and I have mine DNA certified, and I have one right out in the back, is 3-inch long fingertip. DNA certified, I got coming out of my ears. That's what you're seeing. All right, I am sorry. I said 3-inch long fingertip. It's 3 feet long. And that's just a fingertip. And that's the bone in the back. This is where the blood supply comes up under the fingernail to service it. I broke this piece off right here, which is the fingerprints, literally the fingerprints. Now, that little hook right there was where that sat. These are literally the fingerprints. That's what's called grip skin. All right, and this right here is where the fingernail was, which you can see the fingernail. I mean, take your time. Don't get crazy. Slow down. It's 3 feet long, approximately, in that area. And this is the thickness of the skin. And anybody that knows about skin and grip skin, you can see these little ripply looking things. That's exactly what your skin looks like. And this is the thickness of the skin. And there's little tiny holes in here that little bits of blood fed out for this skin. This skin is very lightly, there's very little blood in this. Very tough. And then once you get up into the fleshy part of your skin, and that's where all the blood is. And that's what I did, is I went up in there and took out of the arterial network, clean as clean could be, and sent it off, and it came back as human DNA, mitochondrial DNA. And it's 3 feet long, and that's just what it is. And that's the fingerprints. So it's time to take a look at this, because this is the reality of the world we live in. You can walk around in circles, spend all the money you want, and just play games, but that's not the way I do things. Now that's the normal shape of the vagina without being a body in there molding it outwards. It has the teardrop shape. And these are the vaginal ripples or wrinkles or whatever they call them. That's the tissue that's inside of a vagina. Okay, as a baby forms, it begins as just the sperm and the egg, and then a whole bunch of cells begin to form a ball. And then the ball goes bloop, right inside of itself, and that's what happens. Then you get differentiation. You see the inside cells? Totally different than the outside ones, because you have a different, your guts are inside, and outside is your flesh and your muscles. Now the key is, when all of that stuff gets soaked in the salt water for a long duration of time, that seal breaks, and that's what that crack is. Yeah, it's extremely clear once you take the time and look at it. You can see that's the abdominal seam right there, that little tiny split. And of course you have all of the plumbing and the vagina, and that appears exactly what she said. This is all pushed out. It shouldn't be pushed out this way. This isn't pushed out. It is what it is. It's time to understand. And this was called the Tracian womb cave. And people can walk up in here and pray here. And here's the teardrop shape, which was not, this woman was not pregnant when she died, but she was a giant. And there's those pockets. Now, this could be a whole different type of creature and have a different type of vaginal canal, but it's not too far off. Very, very similar, and it's got that crease right up the center, which was the abdominal cavity seal. Okay, there's the vaginal wrinkles. You can actually see them down here with their little bumps on them. That's just what it is. Yep, see, there it is right there. That's the vaginal wrinkles. I know my vaginas. And this part right there is the vaginal seam that is the weld. You see that? That's stomach lining. There's some form that holds these little balls on there. And guess what this is? This is in Sondong Cave. Right here. That's what they're doing. Crawling through that same stuff. And it's eroded now, and of course you can see that was the things that held all these balls were attached to it. Now, if they can prove this is wrong, I'd love to see them do that. I have all the evidence to show. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I know this is all biology, and if they look at it a little more closely, we're going to get somewhere on this planet other than, we're destroying the Earth, and the Earth was alive. I don't know if it's alive now. There's a lot to look at, and we're being fools. You see this? Look at this. Those are little blood vessel looking things that hold this tissue together. There's a lot to look at here, a ton to look at. All right, here they go through the cave system here, and you see these towering things. There is fluids leaking down through that would normally come out. That's the stomach. That is the stomach in this gigantic cave system, Sondong. Now, Tyson Carlson, I've been working with, he's been working a site in Oregon. It's every bit as big as this, and I'll show you. The bilipid membrane, which you can see right through in a human being, is 6 feet thick in the stuff he's working on. All right, this is a shot from Tyson's channel. I've been working with him for a couple of years now. He's got unbelievable. This is the lower layer. What we're looking at right here is this. This is a bilipid membrane. That means it has what they call aqueous, gooey solution in between two hydrophilic and hydrophobic heads, so that it keeps things in and out. Put it that way. It's a membrane. It only allows things to go through that it allows. That's what these channels are for. And then it's got some other little flippy things that hang in and out that attach here and here. But all of these things are here. You see that little thing right there? That's one of these. See? These holes in these channels are these channels. And that's the lower layer. The upper layer is 6 feet above. 6 feet. You can see right through it in you. Okay, now I sent all this information to the White House. I know they're in real deep trouble at the moment. Obviously, the whole country is. But that doesn't mean truth has to just be thrown to the side. Now, I expect somebody from there to contact me back and just say, all right, let's see what you got to say. I just want one of your experts in every field. Every field. I can accelerate light. I can harvest energy right now and get us almost on free energy almost immediately, if I'm correct, and I'm almost certain I am. And if you get something, I'll show you right now. All right, get one of your experts at the White House to discuss this. Light, accelerated light. Light being split into its components. First, it shows up as photons right here. Back-to-back electrons. And then, as it forces its way through the Venturi, they split into what they call muons and electron-neutrino showers. That's the accelerated light. I showed the photons are particles. The particles separate here instead of being a black and white ball attached together. The black balls, which are dark matter, go away from the explosive white particles, which they call fermions and electron showers, electron neutrinos. They reattach back here. In this section right here, I believe we can harvest maybe 1,000 times what the input value is. Why can't we just suck those raw electrons away? They don't have nearly the kind of impact value they have when they attach. When they're here, they're just explosively interactive. They want to find these black things as fast as they can. I want somebody to talk to me. The academic institutions are the destruction of education. It's just ridiculous to think they're here to actually educate anybody. They're here to siphon money out of society. That's my opinion.